So what are the top stories this particular morning? And of course, we're taking a look at the People Daily, and the story we were looking at, we are looking at this particular moment is why Raila will not save Ruto in 2027 polls. And of course, before we took a break, I had asked you whether this man is indeed, true colors coming out, or, it's somehow just the burden of incumbency kind of rubbing off with him.
Right now, Raila is showing his true colors because we've known him for protest. We've known him as the father of democracy in this country. We've known him for fighting regimes that are not delivering to people and oppressive regimes. But over the years, we've seen him join hands with the same regimes in terms of him getting his people into government and himself getting into government. So right now, it's when people it's like a wake-up call. What is happening? Remember, for the broad-based government to be put through, it was on Gen Z's protest. And this is 2024 when people died, when a lot of young people died in this country. And they took advantage of this situation and they negotiated themselves into power. Okay. And now that trust is broken with people because they thought he will try and defend people and try and defend the young people and the Gen Z movement, but he didn't.
Korea, one of the questions that the young people asked is, we did not tell you to solve, quote unquote, or look into our issues by joining the government. We just want our issues. In fact, we told you to relax. We will take care of this situation. You've done your time. It's good. Like, the whole ideology was he could have been well placed by doing other things as opposed to being part of government, because we still have the MOU, and there's a lot that many are still expecting that it should be implemented, which has not been implemented. And there are talks of conclaves, dialogues. We saw the student leadership also, highlighting that matter. So how are we supposed to articulate this?
Right now, in this country, what we lack now is trust. Nobody trusts them. The thing that they should be doing right now, or Raila should be doing right now, he should have taken this opportunity to show us that he is the father of democracy, because this is where people are dying by fighting for their rights. They are not giving us the issues that we are fighting for. Young people are out there fighting for employment. They are out there fighting extrajudicial killings. The broad-based government came and the MOU was clear. Stop extrajudicial killings. But it didn't stop. Actually, it got worse. People were kidnapped, people were abducted. And at the end of the day, people are asking, what was Raila's game plan? Yeah. Why was he joining the government? Was he joining the government to make it worse, or was he joining the government to make it better?
What would you say?
I think he made it worse, because if I'm, let me give an example. If I'm the police and you, wewe umekosea huyu, alafu umekuja kunistaki, and then we join hands in beating the person, the accused, then it's not right. So whatever is happening right now, the opposition, Raila was the opposition, and he didn't do his work.
Yesterday we had an analyst here, Babu, and I had asked him, because our headline was, the headline on the People Daily that we were looking into was the failed presidency. And in the article, the analyst, Fred Ogol, I believe, he mentioned that his opinion is Raila Odinga is in government to play the part where he would not see President William Ruto succeed. Because if he does, then it would mean he's not in need. So I'll ask you the same thing. Are you of the same opinion?
Yeah, I will be of the same opinion, because when you're working and when you're running something, trust is key. Ruto is in bed with his enemies.
But at whose expense? At whose expense?
Ruto right now is in bed with his enemies. He's in bed with the people that tried very much not to put him in power. And these are the people, maybe right now, they're very close to him. All the things maybe that are going wrong, might be because of the people that he surrounds himself with.
Okay. Yeah. All right, tukimaliza, before we even shift to other pages, Raila ajiondoe kwa Ruto ama asijiondoe, because we saw the statement ambayo alisema juzi kwa interview akisema kwamba I will support Ruto until 2027. Ni statement ambayo many wali interpret different. 2027 inamaanisha ni mpaka hapo ama ni kwenda mbele. So akijiondoa ama ajiondoe kwa sasa, itakuwa na utofauti wote kwa Ruto?
Haitakuwa nayo sababu Ruto already still with the help of Raila is still struggling. He's still struggling to change the narrative which he is the best president or whatever the coalition is, whatever the unity they are talking about is still void. People don't see it. So whether Raila is out or in, I don't think it will make any much change because Kenyans, it seems like Kenyans have already decided.
Well, na kuna baadhi ya watu ambao wako chini ya Raila ambao hawa support uongozi wa Ruto. Hawa watu kama kina Sifuna na wengine wengi, je, maoni yao yanaweza kuaffect kwa njia yoyote Ruto katika uchaguzi wa 2027?
Tunasema hivi, maoni ya Sifuna ni maoni ya Raila.
Okay.
Sababu Raila hajatoka kupinga kenye Sifuna anasema. Na Sifuna kuwa mdogo wa Raila na kukuja na kuongea mambo ambayo anaongea na hana pingamizi yoyote kutoka kwa uongozi wa ODM. Sisi Wakenya wana assume hiyo ndio maoni ya Raila. Kama haingekuwa maoni ya Raila angetolewa. Okay. Ama akanywe.
Okay. There are those undertones, talks of maybe the Secretary General went too far when it comes to this. Some people saying, by the way, this could be the last interview you do as the Secretary General of ODM. And maybe just because also internal wrangles within that particular party have been, rife, if you ask me, because a lot of issues to do with some of the members that are very close to what, in support of the broad-based government coming for the head of the Secretary General. Could there be a plot to get him out as the SG? I don't know.
If there was a plot to get Sifuna out, I think it could have happened a long time ago. Because Sifuna has been very vocal since day one of the broad-based government. Yes, there are people talking about getting him out, but does the top brass of ODM talking about it? The decision makers of ODM are not talking about it. So I think Sifuna is speaking on behalf of somebody. And that somebody might be Raila or might be somebody else or might even be his own opinion, but he's speaking as ODM, as the Secretary General. So we think even if it was to be removed, he should have been removed a long time ago. And then as a party, if they remove Sifuna as the AG for speaking his mind, then does ODM really represent democracy? Because democracy is very, stipulates about people being free to talk about their own views.
But where would he draw the line then? Like where would he say, okay, fine, as a party, when you reach this particular place or when you say this particular sentiments, then we're not together. If like Brian said, this talks that he would be, kicked out of the party.
Yes, there are those talks, but he's not kicked out. His interview was explosive. His interview was viewed by millions of people. So if there was consequences, we could have already seen, or either they're buying time to deal with him later. But Sifuna is speaking on part of ODM. For me, my opinion as Kuria Karaoke, I would say Sifuna is speaking on behalf of somebody in that party.
Okay.
And
let me ask you this. If at all Sifuna is speaking on behalf of, let's say, Raila Odinga, and the position of, in most cases, he'd say, okay, my position as Edwin Sifuna is this. But as a party, this is what you have agreed. And I still express the position of the party and my own position as an individual. As Edwin Sifuna, this is my advice to the party and all that. And let's go with that particular assumption that most of what he's saying is actually backed by the party leader. They are still in a somehow working arrangement with the ruling coalition that some of the words that are coming out from the SG are threatening that particular working relationship moving forward to 2027. What should the ruling coalition right now and ruling government and the ruling party, that is the UDA party, and also President William Ruto, read into these particular statements in regards to the relationship that they have with Raila Odinga right now? If at all Edwin Sifuna stands up and says something, people will say, okay, now that is the voice of Raila Odinga.
I think the ruling party should walk out of that MOU and focus on bringing now the whole country together, because
Korea. What about the pointers that they've not yet?
Because you can't have people, you can't have two voices and two horses pulling on different direction. Clearly, ODM and UDA, it's not working.
But I asked you earlier, at whose expense? Can you go in and out? You know, this is not working. You know, you do this or that. Like, the whole reason they joined hands was to, you know, reach a consensus where we as citizens feel that our needs are, you know, rather listened to or we're heard. So if one of them pulls out just because they can, what about the MOU?
And that's
the dialogue.
I'm coming
task
back.
Forces.
I'm coming back to why did they form the MOU first in the first place? Did they form it considering Kenyans, or was it their own or on relation to just join government? You see, they came and they said these are the things. These are the 10 major points they're bringing in government, and they want to see them go through. But 1 year down the line, it's not working. They don't even trust each other, because ODM will stand and say this. On the other side, you have somebody like Gladys Wanga supporting the MOU. On the other side, you'll have somebody like Sifuna saying otherwise. So in between here, there's a big mistrust, and that is trickling down to us as Kenyans, yes. And we are saying, whatever we are saying, one of them has to come out clearly and tell us what is really going on. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Naomba nisome some comments za Kenya online in regard to his story, a headline ya People Daily, why Raila may not rescue Ruto. Pundits argue that emergence of Gen Z bloc has killed tribal political arithmetic and warn that Tinga's support will be insufficient for President Ruto. Here is what Kenyans are saying. Evangelist Nicholas Kwenga says, when it is voting day, it is when you will know that Gen Z was just hyped rhetoric, all right? Voting in Kenya is tribe or region inclined. By the end of the day, all right, ameongelea stories za Kamba will vote for Kalonzo and so on. So that's a comment in regards to his story nzima. That's a comment from Evangelist Nicholas Kwenga on Facebook. Then we have a comment from Pop Score Okwaya on Facebook. Anasema kwamba Gen Z is a narrative. Continue living in illusion. I understand you are heading, all right. I get you. And the last comment from Specky. Hiyo nikisoma hapa kidogo itaita shida, but maoni yake tunaheshimu sana. Then wanatufinya sana pale Facebook. Then we have Specky. Specky says Ruto failed when he turned the sharp edge of the sword on voters. Imagine people struggling for plates on the table for years. Those are just comments from People Daily Facebook in regards to the headline of this morning, why Raila will not save Ruto in 2027 polls.
Okay, why Raila will not save Ruto in 2027 polls. Final question before we take the next page here. What have they lost? What did both sides lose with this particular MOU and this working arrangement?
Trust in
Okay.
Kenyans. Yes.
Right, we take page 2 of the People Daily, and of course some shocking news in regards to what is happening in the country, and that has to do with the Shakahola 2. Is it Shakahola season 2 or what? Fresh fears.
Shakahola season 2, right? Shakahola 2, fresh fears of cult activities in Bizarro. You can see there's a story of local sources saying as many as 50 people may have been buried in the new location since March this year. Now, this story, Shakahola, tumeongelea some few minutes ago in regards to the 5 things I'm supposed to know this morning. But now, Remy Amwai and KK, swali ambalo hapa Wakenya wanaweza Twitter, where is NAS? What have been doing for all that time? Because hii kesi, we thought ya kwamba Mackenzie akishikwa, hii kesi itapungua. Now we have Shakahola too. And also before tulipokuwa break, tulikuwa tunaongea hapa na kile tunasema kwamba hata darasani kuna mwalimu alafu kuna prefect. Wakati mwalimu yuko kuna prefect. Hebu tell me, where is NAS? From Twitter they're asking.
That is a good question, because the biggest question is, we have, in Kenya, we even have the administration department, police department. You come from the area, Nyumba Kumi, you come to assistant chief, you come to the chief himself, before you even reach to, where are all these people when this is happening? Are they lacking? Are they sleeping in their job? Because that is the question, even me, myself, I'm asking myself, where are all these people who are supposed to be protecting people that are supposed to enjoy the freedom in this country? Okay. And if it's religion, what is being done by the government to to cater that part whereby people have power over other people.
What, and you know, as you just wind up on that one, what lessons should we have learned from Shakahola 1 that we didn't learn that we're experiencing Shakahola 2?
The government needs to be on the ground. The government needs to know that information and education is very important, and poverty. Maybe you'll find these people where they are, they don't have information. So whatever they are told, they believe, because maybe they are looking for food, they are looking for whatever. And somebody comes and promises you will be rich if you do this and this and this. You will succeed if you follow my instructions. This is where the information comes to, whereby these people don't know better. And that is where civic education comes. Okay. If the government invests in civic education, whereby they go to the ground and talk to people and improve the lives of people down to mashinani, then I think this kind of things will not be happening.
Well, and when you talk about religious radicalization, sio tu part moja ya pwani, kuna maeneo mengi sana nchini Kenya, we can have these issues tunaziona. Do we have something it can be done kabisa to end religious radicalization?
There was a time, let me give an example of Rwanda, where the president woke up one day and closed all churches, most churches. And this is where we go, can we vet those who teach religion? Can we vet them? Can we know who are they, where they come from, the kind of education, the kind of people they are, before they are given that power to speak to vulnerable people? Okay.
Right.
All right. Now, mtazamaji, mimi hapa kazi yangu niko ku-update because let's go now the little bit lighter part of People Daily. Na najua kesho ni Ijumaa, mtazamaji, na maybe you want to go for some adventure. You want to go and enjoy with your family, with your friends. Lakini pia, allow me to give you some tips on you're supposed to be doing when you go to the adventures with your friends. Now, page 18 and page 19 of People Daily this morning, we may highlight a very good story on offbeat things to actually do on adventure. Wamepeana vitu vinane, but I will just highlight two. Then others nitazielezea from 9 a.m. on Amka Trend Talks. Now, when you go on adventure, make sure you make friends in weird places. Yes, don't just go and ukae peke yako. If umeenda Narok, make friendship with Maasais, all right? So first thing you're supposed to do, make friends in weird places. Also take a midnight ride, okay? When you go for adventure, take a midnight ride, and also try a skill you suck at. Find a class or experience that guarantees mild humiliation. Karaoke in a language you don't speak, a pottery wheel that turns your clay into a lopsided, a very beautiful story. Just make sure you grab your copy on Google Play Store. That is on Google Play Store and also App Store. Make sure you read that story and also eat something that might worry you. Now, when you go for an adventure, make sure you eat something that might worry you. Usikule kitu ambayo haita kuworry. Eat something that will worry you. So that is a story on page 18 and page 19 of People Daily this morning. So hii story nitaiongelea vizuri kuanzia saa 3 mpaka saa 4 ndani ya Amka Trend Talk. So usikose kuwatch because we shall be having this banter on air. Ila kwa sasa naomba niwarushie wenzangu Amoy na Remy. We continue with the next newspaper. All right.
All right, just quickly to look at what else you're waking up to. We start with the Daily Nation, I believe, or that is the Standard. Okay.
Hapa ndio mood iko. So this morning on Standard tunasema kwamba rogue nganyas. That's the big story. Now they roar through Nairobi street like kings without crowns, matatu with no number plates, no rules and no fear, backed by political muscle and hidden behind shell companies. These rogue vehicles are turning public transport into a circus of impunity, while ordinary Kenyans are crushed under the weight of traffic laws. The powerful race above them, literally, with DJs, drag and dance floors on wheels. This is anarchy in motion, sanctioned by silence and blessed by the highest offices in the land. Mimi naomba tugusia hapa with the DJs. The only mat ambayo iko na DJ ni the newest mat in town. That is mat ambayo inasemekana kama ni kijana wa mtoto wa rais. That is George Ruto.
Yeah.
Hebu kwanza niambieni. Nyinyi mnapendanga nganya ambazo ziko na sauti ya juu, inaenda speed, ama how do you like your nganya ikue?
So
before you go to the deeper part of it that you want.
I grew up in Jericho. That's Eastlands parts of Nairobi. And in most cases, I think mathri zilikuwanga lazima ikuwe nganya, alafu my brothers had just that particular mood ya ngoma tu, lazima tu ukiingia kwa mat. Hizo siku tuko na, I think niko mdogo ilikuwanga Sisele walikuwa wanacheza sana, Alaine and all that. So it was more of dancehall in those matatus. So I kinda would prefer mood as opposed to KBS quote unquote.
All right. Twende sasa kwa mimi sana pati yangu.
I just want to correct something. Somebody is speaking in my ear akiniambia ati hizo KBS ndio mimi upanda. Nataka kusema kitu fulani. Hiyo ni introduciwa nganya. So right, squeezing ni kama imebadilika kidogo.
Well, the story talks about the president's son. Now here with George Ruto just launched Mode Matatu, now flaunting the rules with the regulators and traffic police, turning a blind eye lest they get into the bad books of the first family. Now, hii story, before tuende kwa next newspaper, niko na swali. Kuna comment I saw on Twitter, wanasema polisi yote ambaye atajaribu kushika gari kama hizi za mtoto wa rais, anajiletea shida yeye mwenyewe ya kazi yake. What do you think, Mr. Keke?
To be fair, nganya zimekuwa Kenya for the longest time. Si yake ya kwanza.
Lakini yake ina overdo,
for me, what I see is a young man with a dream.
Okay.
And I see a nation which without rules that are favorable to some people.
Okay.
So that is what is happening in Kenya today. Right. It's something that has been going on. It's something that has been there in a culture. Remember right now, that's a culture that has, since 1990s, there's been that culture. So it's only that we are coming up with, the technology is growing. So having a DJ in a matatu is new to us, but I would love to enter that matatu. Well, of course, I would want it to be driven nicely and to follow all the rules.
And maybe see the outside from the windows.
I'm just shocked with whatever Keke amesema. He's just a young man with a dream. Okay. Nitaongelea vizuri saa tatu hiyo story.
Okay. And also, I think just before we head to the Daily Nation, there's an important story here. The civil servants must use public hospitals. A bill in Parliament has gotten approval from MPs that will see all government workers forced to use local hospitals to make services better. And I think that is very important, especially for our elected leaders. Now let's transition to the Daily Nation. Top story on the Daily Nation. Raila puppet or ODM rebel? And of course, this is in regards to ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, who has constantly dismissed his party's association with the government, contradicting his boss, Raila Odinga. Now, he has declared the ODM-UDA deal dead. Days after Mr. Odinga affirmed it, he is a rogue official. Is he a rogue official or the mouthpiece of his party leader? And of course, we touched on that with KK here as we were making sense of what is happening in the political scene. Also, another story making headlines on the Daily Nation. SHA latest crisis hurts patients. Private hospitals are threatening to suspend critical services, including cancer treatment, dialysis, and chronic surgical procedure following months of delayed reimbursement from the Social Health Authority. Right, why MPs probe into organs trade stalled. Claims of sabotage have rocked the investigation into suspect Medihill kidney surgery. That's a story on page 10. Now we want to wind up KK here on this particular segment. 30 seconds on this issue of civil servants must use public hospitals to make services better. What do you make of that?
We've seen them flying out of the country to get better medication, and we are telling them, come get your taste of your own medicine, because this is what we Kenyans go through. And while you, the policy makers and the people who are supposed to better our services at the hospitals, you are going outside to better countries.
Okay. Will it make it better if they start using, local hospitals?
I think it will open their eyes and see the suffering of Kenyans and how they're suffering, to prompt them to make our hospitals better.
Okay.
All right.
In that story, I want to say hi to Governor Nakuru, Susan Kihika.
Thank you so much. Of course, continue staying with us here. Thank you so much, KK.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Continue staying with us here on Amka Kenya. Of course, when we come back, we're taking a look at state of affairs in the country and also your Western Kenya region. Who will we be talking to? Of course, that is Ayub Savula, who is the Deputy Governor, Kakamega County. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a few.